At Ron's Consignments, we're proud to be both collectors, enthusiasts, as well as dealers. And I think you're really going to love our brand new bottle room. And tonight we're going to introduce one of our newest dealers. His name is Jason. He is both an archaeologist, he is a restorer, and I just want to show just some of the bottles. And we have bottles ranging from the late 1790s all the way up to collectibles from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Let me just give you a quick look at our new bottle room. As I pan across, you will see hundreds of collectible bottles. Now, one of the great things about these, note the condition. We're going to talk to our dealer, Jason, and he will explain he has a proprietary cleaning method, unlike bottle tumbling, which is often very recommended, but very hard on this glass writing. As a matter of fact, think about tumbling a stone or a rock. You have to wear away in order to get that shine, and that's what bottle tumbling does. You won't find that here at Ron's. Just looking at these walls, just incredible. So we're going to take a moment, we're going to talk to Jason, and we're going to see some of his newest finds and some of his interesting history. You know, I've been talking about Jason, and now I'd like to introduce you. Here he is, Ron's Consignments resident bottle archaeologist, bottle expert, and of course, you're going to explain a little bit that you have a proprietary cleaning method. And Jason, I have never seen bottles this clean my entire life, and this is after 30 years of being around antiques and antique bottles. So I see there's a lot of interest here. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do and what you have.
Well, I've been digging up bottles for several years now. There's a certain science to it. It's not that you can just walk out anywhere and find bottles from that have been in the ground for 200 years or 150 years. You have to do some research, some study on it. But they're called Sambor maps, and they're insurance company maps that in case a town got wiped out because of natural disaster, or federal government said it's mandatory that you have a layout of a town, and that's actually where it starts. And that's where you find the 1800 bottles.
So this is fascinating, and I have to tell you, some of these bottles are just amazing. I'm going to reach over. Sure. This little guy is actually one of my favorites, and also something that you never see. So I'm looking through my magnifying glass. Stone Harbor Yacht Club. I have never, ever encountered a bottle from Stone Harbor Yacht Club.
What kind of bottle is it?
That I believe would be either a perfume bottle or maybe a alcohol bottle, small alcohol bottle, where it was a treat because it's from Stone Harbor, and it is their exclusive yacht club down here in South Jersey, and it is a rare 1800 bottle.
It's fantastic. It's got the stopper. I absolutely adore that. And of course, Jason, I couldn't even begin with some of these. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your favorites that you have here?
Okay, some of my favorites here. This is a quart-sized bottle, and it's a local bottle from Atlantic City.
It most certainly is.
When I found it, thank God it was upside down, and it was winter time almost, just breaking into springtime, and I thought it was too cold to dig, and this thing was probably about 6 feet down. And some of these bottles that I've dug up, dug up as low as 10 feet, and you just have to take your time. Once you find them, it's a technique on getting them out also, because they have been buried in cold temperature, warm temperature, climate. There's a main key to that. There's also what we use a poker to make sure that we're scratching on glass. And some of these bottles, there's 2 or 3 that are not perfect where they were hit. And you get a little chip here, a chip there. But the key, when you get these out and they have all this acid rain and they look washed out like they're never ever going to come clean, some people take them to a place and get them tumbled, which is a slow process. To me, it makes the bottle too shiny. It doesn't make it look for real. It makes it just look too bright. Some people like that. Me, I like to take my time. It's an exclusive way that I clean them. It's a little bit of a process, but I love to bring back history and where you could read these bottles, because some of them in these machines, I've watched the tops come right off, pop right off, and it's a lot of work to dig up most of these bottles. It's work.
And you know what's interesting is that you mentioned that thank goodness you found this bottle upright. Now here's something that I learned today, and that is when the bottle is upright, water gets in, condensation, hot, cold temperatures, and now freezing cold, well, it'll expand and crack the bottle. But when the bottle is found upside down, it's a different story because now the moisture can't penetrate the bottom. And as a result, you have this wonderful preserved specimen. So I never knew that, Jason. And of course, I don't know if the folks at home know that as well. But you take your time, and I have to tell you, some of these are fantastic. These almost look like they are relatives of each other.
And they are.
Aha!
They date from 1880, which is the one with the cork top,
Absolutely.
to that's going to be 1926.
1926. This little guy right here, 1926.
Wow.
1938 is the other one.
1930.
And they're screw tops, which
Aha! I see. And this one's a cork top. So definitely improvements in technology. My goodness.
yes,
What kind of bottles are they?
they're poison bottles.
Oh,
Oh, I guess I shouldn't lick my fingers then, right?
Okay.
No problem.
I do have a few more that are from 1927 to 1947, and the difference when I found this bottle, I'm cleaning it up, and all of a sudden it's packed with. It was just different color material in here, so I'm dumping it out, and I didn't feel so good. And then I'm looking on the other side, and I'm reading it, and you know when I'm down in the ground, and it says poison on it, you have to be very, very careful. This one gave me a double warning because the older one has two sides where it says poison, and this is a three-sided bottle.
wow.
They are very, very unique.
That is absolutely fantastic. Now, I can't lie to you. This bottle makes me smile. And what makes me smile about it, now, this is your baby top right here. Now, a lot of people haven't actually seen these beautiful baby tops, or when they do find them, they do not look like this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this one?
Well, this one right here, I found actually a clear one next to it also, and they were tilted sideways down, and I was very excited. The very first one that I got it right out to the truck after taking hours to get this bottle out, and all of a sudden it just broke in about 50 pieces right in front of me. But God was good, and he blessed me with two more beautiful ones, a clear one and this gorgeous cobalt blue one.
That blue is magnificent.
Very nice.
That's rare, isn't it? That
Very-
color for a
it
milk.
is.
That's a
It
milk
is.
bottle, right?
It is a milk bottle. It's called a baby face or a baby top.
And there is a baby face on it, isn't it? Maybe
Actually
see
on
it.
both sides. It's really, really cool.
Oh, very nice.
That is fantastic. And of course, you know, it's not just finds like this, which would you say 1950s? I think you'd.
This one right here is a 19, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 1948.
Perfect.
Okay, which is our favorites are the blob tops or the squat bottles.
I absolutely was going for one, but go ahead, do tell.
Okay. Louis Greer started this company. He arrived here in 1846, and these bottles I believe were made for only 8 or 10 years, and I didn't bring enough of them, but they have a dark blue, one of my favorite colors, and I nipped it with the shovel to find out. This is a teal blue. It's beautiful, or it's a teal blue green, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh, that color's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yes, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's a beautiful bottle. There is another one in the middle, which I believe this is a local bottle also from Salem, New Jersey. Dug up right in Millville, New Jersey. Very, very heavy. And this was probably either mineral water or it could have been some type of mineral water, or it could be a beer. But I'm doing a lot of researches on these manufacturers from way back in the day, and a lot of them got fined $25, $50 for selling alcohol on a Sunday. So they still have laws that date back then. But they called it Civil War tax. And if you didn't pay your tax, your Civil War tax, it went to the census, it went to different research places that you can look up in the library. And it's very, very interesting.
Or Google.
So you can Google it. Google it. It'll get you in a direction to go to. But the key is to find these certain maps from certain towns that you're going to explore. And you always have to have permission to go on somebody else's property. You don't dig at a public place. It's very, very important to ask permission first. And what I do with the people that actually let me explore on their property, it doesn't even look like I'm there when I'm finished up. Because I've rolled back grass before, I've put everything all together, put it right back to where it came from, and I try to make it look a little bit more better than what when I arrived there, when I left.
And just like your bottles, you leave them better than when you found them, and absolutely fantastic. And by the way, that bottle that you mentioned, I noted that based on some of the bubbles in the glass, it looked like it had some age to it. And am I correct in saying that, based on our discussion, that this is most likely from the 1850s?
Yes.
Incredible.
Wow.
Now, again, these are bottles that you are not going to find anywhere else in South Jersey, if not the entire country.
No.
Just because we have a sole agent who is actually doing the excavation, doing the restorations himself.
And these bottles are for sale here at Ron's Consignments.
Absolutely. It may look like a museum, folks. This is no museum. Everything is for sale. So it's fantastic. And what I like about everything that you do is that some people will go to flea markets, other antique stores. They'll find a bottle and say, you know what, that'll look great. I'm going to stage it a little bit. They just throw it up there, and there you have it. And what I appreciate is that everything that you have is literally hand excavated, hand cared for. You know, years ago, I remember Saturday Night Live, Dan Aykroyd, that most dangerous Christmas toys, Bag-O glass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have Jarro glass here, but it's not just any Jarro glass. You know, you have so many things you can use these for, from guitar slides to, just decoration or making LED forms. But what's interesting about this is that all these bottles here, now Jason mentioned about some of those bottles that just explode once exposed to oxygen. Now, if we look at this, these are all bottles from the 19th century, so anywhere from 1830, on up to, say, 1890. These are all fragments of those bottles. So if you're into crafting, if you're into, creating, think of what you could do with things like this. And again, you're not going to find it anywhere else except here at Ron's Consignments.
Now I understand, Jason, you have a very rare bottle. You have a bottle with the Jersey Devil on it.
I do. It is a apothecary bottle, and it is E.S. Reed, and it's from Atlantic City.
Wow.
And it's a gorgeous bottle. It's the only bottle that I know of that actually has a photo of the Jersey Devil embossed, and the Jersey Devil would be, it is a half dragon. The other half is a kitty cat, and then the tongue comes out and it splits like a snake's tongue splits into a V.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very, very unique bottle from the 1800s, and it's, I'm going to say, I'm marking that 1860 to 1880, and believe it or not, when I researched it for what type was in there, it was suntan lotion. that they
Are
put
you
back in the
kidding
day.
me?
Very interesting.
That is
Yes, suntan
interesting.
lotions
Wow.
exist.
Yes,
See, we're all learning something new tonight.
absolutely.
It's fantastic. Now, again, here we have, and you're kidding me. Now, sometimes with my old eyes, I know I should be wearing my glasses. This comes in
I
handy.
found that last night, or yesterday, or actually this morning. So,
You're kidding me. So this is Paul's hay fever remedy. So I know that the seasons are changing. I know that a lot of us are somewhat under the weather. Now you can only wonder what Paul's hay fever remedy was. And all I could say is that, curiously, I might suspect this bottle could have contained alcohol.
could be some
That's a sm-
alcohol, could be a combination of things.
It's a small bottle
that
for
they put in
alcohol.
there. They used a lot of stuff that we shouldn't use today, which is different type of drugs that really mess people up, but they always include alcohol and everything.
Sure. Little
Yes.
mercury on top. Why not?
NyQuil used to have
How
alcohol
I
in
know
it.
how old this is that it's going to have W.T. and Company underneath. Most of my bottles are from Whittle and Tatum, and they were one of the biggest places on the East Coast, making all types of bottles from all over the place. And I've dug up bottles. This one over here, this Klein bottle, it's a blob top. It's from New York City. They finally put a date right on top. K.L. Klein, 1861. It's not a perfect bottle, but you know what? When I found this bottle, it was just so bad. Washed it several times, you couldn't even see the lettering on it. And then I slowly do my process, and they only do this at Ron's Consignment here. It brings them back to life.
Wow.
And it gives them a lot of life left. It's very unique bottles. Here's another local bottle. This is a unique one from Atlantic City. and it is from the Tuckerton Bottle
I see.
Company in Atlantic City. And this is a very unique bottle. I love on the back sides, they say this bottle's not to be sold. They have their logo on the back of the bottle also. And this is a beautiful blob top, and it's going to be dated between 1850 to 1860. And it is a very unique bottle. They weigh a ton. They really do. They knew how to make some of these beautiful bottles. One of my heaviest and favorites are the Hutchinson bottles. They've only made these between 1880 and early 1900s, and it actually had a stopper.
What kind of bottle is it?
This is called a Hutchinson bottle.
What was inside of the bottle?
This bottle would be either alcohol or it would be some type of soda or mineral water, three different types.
Okay.
That's where you actually got a pop from. When these things, the stopper, it's a machine that actually has to clamp these, put them in. It's very, very difficult to do it by hand. So they had these different clips where they would put them in here and they pull it forward and it would lock it. When you go, and this is where soda pop got its name from, you go boom, it pops. That's how you tell it's open, and that's one of the slangs where they got soda pop from.
I always wondered that.
Yes.
So, we learn something new every day here at Ron's. And that's one of the parts that we love here. It's not only being an enthusiast, it's also being a historian, but also sharing our passions. And I appreciate the fact that you're sharing your passions, and this is time invested, research invested. It's just incredible. And at the beginning of the video, I showed you our bottle room, hundreds of bottles. Each one has a distinct tale to it. And it's one of those points where you could shop anywhere in the country and you just won't find a collection like this, except right here at Ron's Consignments. So, having said that, Jason, I know every weekend you are bringing in more and more and more, which is fantastic. And one thing here at Ron's that we're very, very proud of is that we feature active dealers, meaning that each week we're always seeing new inventory. We're seeing things turn over. And as a result, you never wade through the same stream twice. And you're never going to do it here at Ron's. So you never quite know what you'll encounter. And definitely, this is a bottle lover's haven. But the one thing that I haven't mentioned is that, I've seen some of your pricing, and I have seen some of the other guys' pricing. And when I tell you that you are beyond reasonable, I'm not exaggerating. I mean, this is just fantastic. These are affordable. And I've seen people trying to get away with, and when I say get away, I mean get away with a lot less for a lot more. And certainly not here.
And you put a lot of work into these bottles. I mean, not only do you dig them up and have to fill in like a 10-foot hole,
Absolutely.
you also take them home and you clean them and you bring them into like a pristine condition, which
Yes.
we appreciate, and we love his collection.
Absolutely. And if you do not see it here at Ron's, because we have hundreds of bottles here, but if you do not see it, please ask, and we'll see if we have it in another inventory that I have over at my residence, where I have over 1,000 different bottles, and many years of digging them up. But I take a lot of pride in what I do, and a lot of work involved, a lot of research. But
Sounds like it's your passion.
well worth it. Yes, it is to me.
Very nice.
And as a dealer restorer myself, I certainly appreciate everything that you do here. I really do. And it's just fascinating. And I know certainly that, when you're out there, and especially if you're a bottle person, you know what you're looking at. In other words, there's not going to be something magical that you're going to find this incredibly rare, Coke bottle or whatever. Everything here is unique in its own right, and it's local too, whether you're Cape May County, whether you're Atlantic County, whether you're Cumberland County. We have your bottles. And so, these make perfect decorations. They can actually be accentuated in so many ways, or even unique.
Or add them to your collection.
Yes, absolutely. I think that you can create a bottle collector out of any of us.
Yes, there are lots of bottles and different types. What I also like to do when I'm digging up bottles, and as you mentioned with this is a 1920 Ball's mason jar. You'll see these are actually all broken heads from the 1800s. There's probably about maybe 30 or 40 different types of heads that are in here. Different colors, different shapes, different sizes. Instead of reburying a bottle that just broke, this is a little souvenir for me, but I like to put them in a mason jar, and it gives so much color, sunlight, brightness, and just to give you a piece of history.
To look nice in a windowsill.
They do.
Absolutely.
They're absolutely beautiful. That sun coming up and this in the background with your blues and your aquas, even some of the clear, some of the amethyst bottles. They're really nice, but it's not being wasted. These are some beautiful bottles that, to me, it's like a little bit of a souvenir, but it's giving more to the customer also, giving them a nice piece of history, because there's several different types of bottle heads.
I agree.
Rob, for people who do not live locally,
So here is the wonderful part, and we get it, especially living in a seasonal county at points. We ship anywhere in the world, and the words in the world. We actually ship usually once a week, and so if you see anything that you can't live without, it's as simple as just shooting us a message and saying, listen, I saw that bottle, I have a relative, I have to have it for my own collection, and it doesn't matter really what it is in the store, unless it's certainly too cost prohibitive to ship. But for the most part, if you see it and you love it, don't worry about it, because all you have to do is simply type. We'll reach out, we'll contact you, and we certainly have arrangements through PayPal, through Venmo. We have several ways that we can actually accommodate you, and we ship. That simple.
and would Facebook be the best place to reach us?
Facebook really would, and let's face it, no pun intended, but everyone's on Facebook. So as a result, always check out our Facebook page, because we're constantly updating. We're showing you the new stuff. You know, it's like a virtual tour of Ron's, if you will. And if you see something, just send us a message through Facebook. Comes to any of us directly, and this way we can certainly put you, in correspondence with the right dealer, and we make sure that you get your baby. No pun intended.
And also, we also know that bottle collectors are a special breed.
Yeah.
So if any of you out there would like to have a virtual tour, we can FaceTime with you and we can go through our bottle room with you. This is if you live in California, in Texas, Western Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter. We can help you.
Anywhere in the Jason, this is just all tying into what I always say. Before you pay more, pay us a visit. And certainly on behalf of Barbara, Susan, Jason, and myself, we hope to see you here at Ron's Consignment, 714 Washington Avenue, Woodbine, New Jersey, but of course always open on Facebook. So remember, if you see it, you love it, drop us a message. But in the meantime, we thank you for visiting us, spending some time with us today, and we can't wait to see you in person. So we're open Thursday through Sunday. We'll see you here.